Yeah, so what's an average day for you, and what does your job involve you doing?
My job mainly is to make sure that all the pracs are out for the students in all the areas of animal studies. So it could be working in a lab, or it could actually just be physically bringing in hearts, kidneys, things like that for analysis purposes. I have to keep the labs clean and tidy, plus make sure that all the equipment's put in the classroom, especially for night teachers, because they can't leave the classroom to go and collect things, so you have to make sure that every single item's out in the classroom. I have to keep the classroom stocked. We do have glassware and general stock in the classrooms, and they have to constantly be kept stocked. I do all the ordering here for the office plus the labs, so I have to make sure that I keep up to date with all that. I answer phones, inquiries, I do CalCat, I virtually do everything here except for going to a classroom and physically teach every day. I do everything else there. So my day's busy, but it's not boring. Like, my job varies a lot. Like, usually at the beginning of the week is a lot of lab work, and then later on in the week is office work or tidy up. It could be, helping someone with one of their dogs that have come in and the dog's playing up a bit, so I'll give them a quiet area to go to. I interact with students quite a bit as a lab tech. A lot of lab techs don't, but I do get that opportunity, which I really like. So I meet a diverse amount of people, which is really a good thing, not a bad thing. I love doing that. And it's a great job because you get to play with cats and dogs all day, so it's a really good job.
So do students bring in their pets often?
We have blocks where they can, and we have some quite strict rules about it because we're the only department that can bring animals on the campus. So they have to follow, regulations like keep dogs on leads, cats have to be caged, and they can only bring them in if they're on the roster to bring them in. We make sure we're not flooded with animals on that day, because one, it's not fair to the animals, and number two, it's not fair to teaching staff that aren't teaching the component where the animal is part of it. So we try to limit the amount, but we do hydrobathing here and things like that, and the students learn that, so that's part of the courses as well, because we do run 4 different courses here, all relating to animals, but they're all different levels. Like, it could be someone who wants to work into a pet shop to someone that goes into research, so it's a huge variety between. And we have a rule too that if a dog is unsociable but the student really wants to bring in the dog, then we make sure there's no other dogs on the campus that day. That way it saves fights and someone getting hurt or a dog getting hurt, because we don't want that to happen either. And we try to educate the students to realise that dogs do need to be socialised a lot, so do cats. And make them conscious about where they're buying their pets from as well, because people don't understand about puppy farms that well, and you're better off to buy from a breeder or Lost Dogs Home, something like that, than buy off a pet shop or where you don't know where the animals come from. So we try to think that they walk away with the conscious as well as the education.